great story, you know. That's why I wanted to do it. You know, playing a real person, I don't know if it's daunting. It's just it's not like it's not different from playing a fictional character really, except you want to try to do justice for the person, for the real person. You know, not to portray them in an idyllic way, but to try to get them right and honestly.
Okay. And Jim, how did you know that Dennis would be the right person to play you?
I didn't know that anybody would be the right person to play me. I mean, the whole idea of a motion picture being made about me just seemed far-fetched, and apparently as far-fetched as me getting back and actually making it to the big leagues. And I don't think I believed there was going to be a movie until Dennis signed on to do it, and I thought, wow, this is actually happening. And then it's just gone crazy since then. I mean, I love the movie, and I'm usually my own worst critic, but Dennis did such a good job that it makes my life look interesting.
I read that you never you never played baseball in school, and
I played in Little League.
yeah.
Yeah, but I was too small for sports in school.
And how did you prepare for this role? And honestly, what was your top speed?
I never put myself on a radar gun because I didn't want to know my top speed because it would be anywhere near. I just wanted to try to get his pitching motion right, so I worked a lot. You know, 3 months throwing the baseball with pros, and I just wanted to get the pitching motion right, and then I would rely on sound effects for the rest.
And what about working in that big stadium? What was that like?
That was great. It was really good.
You weren't intimidated at all?
No, you know, I'm an actor, you know. Having an audience is really what we do. But we shot during a real game, 7th inning stretch of a real game, and we're running out, and there's like 50,000 people, and we're recreating, you know, the culmination of his lifelong dream of his pitching debut in the same stadium where he did it, and that made it really special.
And Jim, the tension between you and your father, I don't know how much of that is real as far as that being on screen. Mm-hmm. How did that affect the choices in your life, and what was it like to have that portrayed on screen for you?
It was difficult to be portrayed on screen, but it is dead on with the relationship I had with my father. I tried to make a perfectionist out of me, and so I've never been satisfied with anything I've done, and I've always tried to push myself harder and harder. And you know, I didn't know that I could throw again. I thought at that point in time I was supposed to teach these kids how to play baseball, and they saw something in me that I thought was dead. And thanks to them, I chased a dream down again, and once I made that decision, I guess everything my father taught me came back, and I went at it 100%, and I got it right this time.
And how do you explain your increase from 85 to 98 miles an hour?
It was a lot of time off, and when the doctor fixed my arm at 25 and I retired, he fixed it to play golf and play with my kids, and that was it, not to pitch again. And throwing batting practice every day for 3 years to my kids and trying to take the strain off my arm as much as I could and make myself smooth, my arm speed picked up. I don't know how. I didn't even realize it until I went to the tryout camp.
Because Jim is such an inspiring person, I mean, your life is very inspiring. How did that affect your own life?
Well, you know, I find inspiration from his life, you know, because this movie's about much more than baseball, really, and that's why I related to it. I wasn't interested in doing a baseball movie. The movie's about second chances in life with your dreams, and second chances with the relationships in your life, and that's what I related to it about. I mean, I'm always getting second chances, or the opportunity for second chances in my life. I think all of us do. It's about recognizing them.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to be having like a great run this past year. It seems like, you know, there was a little lull, and then now you're back again, and you're just coming back stronger than ever with a lot of these features that are coming out. With having Jim on the set, did that ever, was he there to give you advice, and did that ever make you nervous?
Yeah, he was there. No, it never made me nervous. I mean, I considered it a resource having him there. We'd be stuck for, you know, pieces of dialogue sometime, and, you know, go over and ask him, you know, what would you do in this situation? Made it easier because, you know, sometimes I'm lazy as an actor. I don't want to make it up. I just ask him.
One thing I want to ask you both about is how is it to have your kids see that your life has been portrayed on screen, and then how how's it for you as well, considering, you know, a lot of the movies that you've done are a little bit darker, so this is like actually a film that you can kind of take your kids to go see.
Yeah.
Hunter understands the whole process, and he's been great with it. He's my best friend. We do everything. My girls are still a little too young, and now I've got a Disney movie, and with Dennis Quaid in it. When they get older, I think that's something they can pull out and go, "Wow, Dad actually did all this stuff. He's not just feeding us a line."
Mhm.
Yeah, my son and I were also best friends, you know, and we keep him away from all the Hollywood stuff for the most part. He doesn't really go to premieres. I mean, it's just Dad's job, you know. He's sort of used to that by now. But yeah, he's interested in seeing this movie, and I think it'd be, you know, it's a good film for him to see.
And can you talk about the cast and the director? What was that like?
Well,
and
you know, I have three criteria when I choose a film. One is the script, you know, if it's a really great story, and the second is the director, who's going to be directing this thing. And John Lee Hancock took an already really great script and elevated it, you know, made it even better. I was amazed just watching it myself. And then the other, you know, the third thing is the actors. Who else is going to be in it? And Rachel and Griffiths and Brian Cox. I mean, it's a great company of actors, really. And little Angus T, who is, you know, plays my son. He's fantastic. He's one of those great kids you see in the movies.
And were you ever scared knowing that an Australian woman was going to be playing your wife? Were you ever afraid that she wouldn't be able to pull off the Texas?
You know, it was really funny the night that I got to meet Rachel. She was in the middle of a scene, and she was talking like a Texan. I didn't know where she was from. And I'm sitting there, I walk up, and I'm listening to her talk, and then she gets done with the scene, and she walks over to meet me, totally Australian accent. I was like, I didn't know what to think. She did a great job with the Texas accent.
And one last thing, what do you think, both of you grew up in Texas, what do you think growing up in Texas, what makes that different than like growing up in, let's say, California? I mean, Texas has a reputation as kind of being the Lone Star State, and
Well, it was the only state in the United States that was ever a country unto itself. You know, it had a president, a navy, ambassadors, and everything. And I think they still think that way down there, to tell you the truth. It's a very large state, and it has a culture unto itself. So.
And people still wave at you when you drive down the highway.
Yeah.